This seems hard right now, man. I don't want to be doing this. Hold up. This seems really hard. Bismillah. You know what? Hold up. I think I gotta check something real quick. Actually, yeah, let me just change this real quick. Yo, did Egypt Church just make a new video, bro? Yo. You know, I'm gonna watch this real quick. I'll just do my work a little later. I'm just gonna watch this real quick. Did I even do it? Oh my god, man. I still have so much work to do right now, bro. Man, let me just get some food real quick. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me guess. Did you scroll down to the comments already? This is how I know you need to fix your attention span before Ramadan begins. Ramadan is less than 20 days away. And if we don't fix our attention span, that's going to result in tons and tons of issues. I know you have tons of goals to achieve this Ramadan. Getting closer to Allah, finishing the Quran, learning about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if you don't fix your attention span, you might not achieve all of them. Just think about it. If you're always distracted, how are you going to be able to watch a seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam if you're just going to be scrolling on your phone while the video is playing? How are you going to be able to learn the tafsir of the Quran if you can't sit through reading for like 5 minutes? And the most important part, how are you going to have khushu during salah, especially tarawih, which is so long? How are you going to be able to focus if you can't focus on yourself, if your mind can't focus on it for 5 minutes? Do you realize the average attention span for a human is 8 seconds? Do you know what it is for a goldfish? 9 seconds. Astaghfirullah, that means that we have less of an attention span than a goldfish. So that's why I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that help me fix my attention span. I've been using this for more than a year when I first started my self-improvement journey, and trust me, I went from doing literally nothing. I'm talking about going in, doing my homework, after 2 minutes I quit. I went from that to now, after a year later, working 6, 7, 8 hours per day sometimes, maybe even 10 hours sometimes if I really focus. And inshallah, if you implement them, you will be able to at least change something for your attention span. So when Ramadan does come, you're ready. The number one best thing I can say is delete social media right now. And that's the easiest way for me to say it. If you knew that something was gonna give you absolute cancer, the worst stage 5 cancer that you can ever get, would you not stop doing it? The issue with social media is we don't see the immediate effects of use. And the same thing with cigarettes. Most people know that cigarettes will give them cancer, but they don't get cancer right away, so they keep doing it. The same thing with social media. Social media not only destroys your attention span, it actually rewires your brain to barely focus on anything. And the only social media I would keep is YouTube, but even then I would install some blockers. I would install a blocker like Unhook. Unhook pretty much removes all the recommended videos and stuff like that on your YouTube feed so that you can only watch the videos that you want to watch. And I really recommend looking more into that. But if you don't want to delete social media because you want to be plugged in, I recommend completely delaying it until later. You want to be using your morning time to just get your work done, and then you want to use the other time to practice Allah. And if you have to check social media for messages or something, I would check it once you're done with the actual work. Number 2 is going to be stop scrolling, right? So stop scrolling and replace that with longer form content. And Ramadan is the perfect way to replace it with longer form content because there's so many good Islamic podcasts out there by Mufti Menk, by Muhammad Hijab's podcast, The Three Muslims, probably one of my favorite ones. Podcast is amazing because it's entertaining, it's longer form, so I'm training my mind focus more on longer form type stuff. The third tip I want to give is being more mindful, and specifically being more mindful every time you go onto a device, especially your phone or even your laptop. You need to be as mindful as possible, meaning every time you go on your phone, think of, why am I going to go on this thing right now? What is my need? And if you can't answer that, then you should not be going on your phone. And this might help you stop your way of going into another scrolling session, because you're going to ask yourself, why am I on this phone right now? If it's for work, then that's for work. But if you're iffy about it, if you truly are not clear about the answer, you know exactly what to do. Number 4 is going to be reading more Quran in a more focused manner. We all love the Quran. The Quran is a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a miracle. It's a book of guidance. However, whenever we do read the Quran, I don't know about you, sometimes if I were to read Quran for a more longer period, I would notice I would lose a bit of focus and I would start thinking of other things, which is a big no-no because we want to really read the Quran in a more focused manner. The first step I will do right now to take advantage and use whatever I've just said is to delete Instagram or delete TikTok, delete something that's addictive. At least for YouTube, you can replace the content you see with longer form content. You can't do that with Instagram. So I would delete Instagram, okay? Unless you're like a celebrity, which is a very low chance of you watching this video right now, I would delete them. Oh, at least choosing a podcast that you're gonna watch right now. After this video, if you have some time, if it's not Salah time, go watch a podcast. And whatever podcast you like, whatever people you resonate with, especially the Islamic podcast I recommend the most, go ahead and just watch more of this podcast. And trust me, watch those podcasts. Hopefully it's benefited you. And I really want you and me and all of the Muslim Ummah that are watching this video, or just any of us, to really take advantage of this Ramadan and make it the best Ramadan, because it's not guaranteed. The next Ramadan is not guaranteed. Let's prepare. Let's really prepare. Let's make sure our attention span is checked because we don't have much time. Let's delete the things we need to delete because we know they're not going to benefit us. And there's a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. As he said, a part of being a good Muslim is to leave the things that which does not concern him. This really talks about social media. Your life does not depend on social media. Again, hopefully you benefited. Inshallah. More videos on the way. If you have any issues that you are experiencing in terms of productivity or anything, let me know in the comments down below. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.